What's up, everyone? This is Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new AK After a Soul review episode for today. This one's going to be on a new release for this year, for 2022, which I saw this yesterday, in which this was released yesterday in the US, but this was released a week ago in the UK. And I saw this yesterday. I was going to review it last night, but I was feeling a bit ill, but I'm all better, and I'm here to review this film. So, and you guys can't tell from one review from the title of this video, I'm here to review a sequel, which this is going to be my review on the 2022 live-action CGI action family comedy adventure sequel to the hit film from 2020, based on the famous Sega game series, and that is, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was directed by Jeff Fowler once again, who made the first movie, and reunites the same cast from the first movie, such as Ben Schwartz as Sonic, James Marsden as Tom, and Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. And so the story this time around to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is that we see Sonic, once again voiced by Ben Schwartz. He's now settling in a new life in Green Hills with his best friend Tom, once again played by James Marsden, along with his wife. And pretty much Sonic just wants to have a chance and where he can feel like he can be a hero to the planet whenever anyone is in danger, although he's a bit reckless when he tries to help people. And meanwhile, we see Dr. Robotnik, once again played by Jim Carrey. He is now returned to planet Earth with a new partner who helps him, who's known as Knuckles, who's voiced by Idris Elba, in which Dr. Robotnik is trying to find this emerald diamond that can be used to destroy civilization, and he wants to, of course, use it to destroy the world and all that. And meanwhile, we see Tails, who's Sonic's sidekick, who we know from the games, comes to Green Hills to basically try and warn Sonic about Dr. Robotnik and what he wants to do with this diamond. And these two characters are forced to go on this global adventure to basically try and find the Emerald Diamond before Dr. Robotnik can get his hands on it so he can use it to destroy the world. So that's pretty much the story of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So for going into the sequel, I was really looking forward to the sequel because, again, I really enjoyed the first Sonic movie. I thought that was a good, fun video game movie, and one of the better ones I've ever seen, one of the better video game adaptations I've seen, alongside Detective Pikachu, and even the new Mortal Kombat film from last year, which I personally enjoyed, although critics were kind of lukewarm on it. But also I was a little bit curious about the sequel, because usually for some movie video game sequels, some of them don't really hold up well to its predecessor, like say some of the Resident Evil sequels or even Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But I was still looking forward to this film because I was glad to see that everyone who was involved with the first film were coming back to do this one. You know, Jeff Fowler, the director, I was really looking forward to seeing what he was going to do for the sequel, since he knew what the fans wanted with the first film. You know, back when the first trailer dropped by with with the bad design of Sonic, until they redesigned him, and then he gave what fans wanted, and he did a really good job of it. So I was really looking forward to seeing what he was going to do for this sequel. And I was glad to hear that everyone from the first film, like the cast, were coming back to do this one. You know, Ben Schwartz as Sonic, James Marsden as Tom, and Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. And I was surprised with the new additional people who were in this one. You've got Tails in this one, who you may know Tails from the video games as Sonic's sidekick. I was really excited to see this character in the sequel, as well as seeing Knuckles for the first time in this movie. I was really looking forward to seeing this character in this movie because I think Knuckles is a cool, badass character from the games. And I was surprised that Idris Elba was going to voice him, and I think he was a really good casting choice because Idris Elba is a really good actor, and he has been everywhere since like last year's decade. You know, like Zootopia and the Suicide Squad and stuff like that. I was really looking forward to seeing what Idris Elba was going to do as Knuckles. And like I said, this film was released yesterday on the 8th of April in the US, and while this was released a week ago in the UK on April 1st, but I didn't see it on that week because I was busy with work and all that. So I actually went to see this yesterday on the US release day, and a bit of a packed screen, but not as quite as packed as last week when I went back to work, when everyone was seeing this movie. And I haven't seen this film. I definitely had a really good time with the sequel. This was definitely a really good, fun sequel, and I actually like this one a little bit more than the first film. Well, there are still some flaws I do have with the sequel, but we'll get into them later on. But the praises I can definitely say for the sequel are the performances. Ben Schwartz as Sonic, still really fun and likable, like he did back in this first film. You know, with his boyish charms, his attitude, and his energy. He does that again all here with the sequel, and I really liked him here in the film. He was definitely fun and entertaining for the most part in the film. James Marsden as Tom, he did pretty good in the film. He wasn't too bad in the film. And Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Still, I love Jim Carrey here like I did with the first film, because, I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. It was such a great joy to see, Jim Carrey back on screen since Dumb and Dumber 2, when he returned to do a film, but for the first Sonic movie, and it was great to see Jim Carrey again to do the sequel. But this one he goes crazily insane here, just like how Dr. Robotnik is like in the games, and I just love what Jim Carrey did in here in the sequel, because whenever he was on screen, I always just loved watching him, since again I'm a massive fan of Jim Carrey since I was a kid. And as for everyone else in the film, like the other human characters, like back then I thought I didn't mind them in the film. Well, there was a few I just didn't really tend to care for that much. But here I kind of found them authentic here in the film, and they weren't too bad in the film. They did pretty good. And for the new additional people in this film, you got Tails, who you know from the games. I really like this character. He was cute, and I really enjoyed this character when he was in this movie alongside Sonic. And I really like the chemistry throughout the whole adventure they get up to when they start to become friends. And Knuckles, who's voiced by Idris Elba, really good casting choice, like I said. And he was awesome in the movie. He was such a badass, and I love his attitude. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with his character in the future when they do make a third film, because they did say they are going to make a third Sonic film, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do for his character in this one, as well as for everyone else from this movie as well as the last film. The visual effects in the sequel, I thought the visual effects in the sequel are actually pretty cool in this one. Although there are times where it is a bit noticeable, but still the visual effects are pretty cool for the most part. When we get to see Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles using their powers, which are really cool. And the action sequences, the direction from Jeff Fowler was really fun and entertaining. Like one involving the snowy mountains, when we get to see Sonic and Knuckles go head to head, and the whole finale when we get to see Sonic and his team against Dr. Robotnik and Green Hills, which that was really fun. And I really enjoyed, and I was really surprised to see there was some references to the second Sonic game, which that's what the director Jeff Fowler said when they were promoting the film, which I thought Jeff Fowler and his team did a really good job on referencing some of the moments from the second Sonic game. That's the praises done, but the flaws I do have with the sequel are its story. While the actual whole main storytelling of Sonic and Tails going on this adventure to find the Emerald Diamond before Robotnik and Knuckles can get their hands on it, I really enjoyed that storytelling. It was pretty exciting and pretty solid enough, and it kind of felt like a treasure hunt film with two characters trying to find something valuable that can be used to save the world or anything like that, which I really enjoyed that. But it's just for some subplots in this film, I kind of found some subplots pretty much predictable, really, and forgettable. Like with the human characters, like there's one involving a wedding, which I kind of found it predictable and obvious, like what was going to happen. Which it's been shown in the trailers, really, so it's technically not a spoiler. And there are some other subplots in the film I kind of found forgettable, really. But still though, the whole storytelling I kind of found pretty solid enough. And the runtime as well in this film is pretty crazy, that the fact that this film is longer than the first film. This is 2 hours and 2 minutes. While the first film was only an hour and 39 minutes, this one's even longer, which it was pretty crazy. And while for that runtime, there are some scenes in this film I kind of found a bit slow paced, but it did manage to pick up on like what was going to happen next. Like say Sonic and Knuckles go head to head, or anything else really. But I was still really invested for what was going on. And as for its humor, there are some pretty entertaining moments in the film, mostly due to Sonic or Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik or anyone else in the film. There are some funny moments in the film, and while there are some humor and some jokes in the film that didn't kind of land for me really, there were some obvious ones that I've kind of there was some there are some like references in this film, as well as some jokes I've seen before in some of my kids' films, like fart jokes or something like that, but. Still, in the end, guys, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it was a really good sequel. I had a really good time with it. And again, I actually like this one a little bit more than the first film. If you are a fan of the first Sonic movie, or you're a fan of the character of Sonic, of the games or anything like that, or if you're a fan of the cast like Ben Schwartz or Jim Carrey or James Marsden, definitely go and see this one. If it is playing at a local cinema near you, definitely get your ticket for yourself, or even for your kids if they want to see it. Because this definitely is a good film to watch. This is definitely a good one for the kids to see on the big screen. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 3.5 out of 5. The exact same rating I gave to the first film, but still, I had a good time with the sequel. And like I said, I like this one a little bit more than the first film. And again, kids will definitely enjoy this one, and this will definitely be a good popcorn treat for them to see on the big screen, along with their parents. And like I said, if it is playing at a local cinema near you, definitely go and see this film, because this will definitely be a good cinema experience for yourselves out there. So, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After a Store review on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and let me know what you think of the sequel, if you have seen this already, or if you've just recently seen it. Did you have a really good time with the sequel, or were you disappointed with the sequel? Again, just thank you so much for watching, stay tuned for more reviews, and as always, this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.